Hey, it is Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. As always, thank you very much for viewing my video. Please like and subscribe. I sincerely appreciate that. In this video, I'm really excited about this video because I'm going to review 3 jazz albums. Well, actually, one's a CD. I'm going to do the CD last, but they're albums that present jazz trios. I'm going to do jazz trios in this video. It was a really nice listening session that spanned, you know, maybe a day and a half. Listen to these albums, and it was really a great joy listening to these albums. One was a thrift store find, and I'm gonna get to that one second. And I was really happy to find that amazing thrift store find to review on this channel. But I'm gonna get started with this album. It's called Bill Evans at the Montreux Jazz Festival. Now, this version of the album was released by Analog Productions Acoustic Sounds. This is a 45 RPM version of the album. Now, I checked their website, and as of the posting date of this video, it's not available. But this album, I believe, is available on other LP and CD formats. You just have to seek it out on the internet. And please listen to this the music on this channel on YouTube before you consider purchasing these albums. This album was actually recorded at the Montreux Jazz Festival, I believe in 1968. Yeah, recorded June 15, 1968. It released on Verve Records in 1968. I'll show you the cover before I show you the labels and give a quick assessment of this album. Yeah, there's a front of the cover. Bill Evans, live at the Montreux Jazz Festival on Verve Records. This is inside of this beautiful gatefold by Analog Productions Acoustic Sounds. Here's a back of the cover. Now, this Bill Evans at the Montreux Jazz Festival was with Eddie Gomez bass and Jack DeJohnette drums. And I'll show you an example of one of the labels that Analog Productions Acoustic Sounds reproduced for their version. Pretty nice album set. I know a lot of you out there do not like 45 RPM records. I believe this may have cost $60. I forgot because it's a while since I purchased it. But to me, this record, this 2-album 45 RPM set, features Bill Evans, was worth the price of admission, because a lot of live recordings, they suffer in terms of, you know, detail and dynamics. And they're usually not, oftentimes a lot of these live jazz recordings or any other type of, you know, music recording, where there's rock, progressive rock, they're often not mic'd too well. But this one was actually mic'd well, recorded well, and performed well. I know that Bill Evans, his piano was maybe a little bit around the inside edge of the left speaker. Eddie Gomez on bass was maybe to the right of the center of the sound stage, and Jack DeJohnette on drums was in the right speaker. And it was an amazing effect. Like I said, it was recorded very well. You can hear the intimate details of Bill Evans' piano, and more so Eddie Gomez on bass. You can really hear the intimate details of his bass, and Jack DeJohnette during his drum solos. First of all, Jack DeJohnette was in the right speaker, but when he would solo, the drum kit became more expansive, and it just went from the right speaker to the middle of the sound stage. I know there's a very nice Bill Evans solo, just Bill Evans only, on this track, and it's I Loves You Porgy. Is quite good. A very beautiful rendition of I Loves You Porgy by Bill Evans. All in all, the solos by Eddie Gomez, Bill Evans, and Jack DeJohnette are fantastic on this album. They play exceptionally well as a trio. I highly recommend you listen to this album. You know, like I said, the solos of Bill Evans and particularly Eddie Gomez on bass, because I said bass performances are, live performances in jazz aren't mic'd well, but Eddie Gomez's solo was mic'd exceptionally well. And like I said, you hear the intimate details of his bass, you know, just that, you know, the plucking of the strings, and just real, it's almost like you're real close to the performance of Eddie Gomez on this 45 RPM version of the album, which I highly recommend you listen to. The performance in 9.5 and the sound in 9.5. A great example of a very nice live jazz recording. If I have just a minor complaint, it's a little bit on the bright side in terms of, you know, the high treble. That's just a very minor complaint. It's close to a 10 for a live recording, in my opinion. I'm giving it a 9.5 in sound, 9.5 in performance. I don't liberally give 10s on my channel, but that performance by Bill Evans and crew, Eddie Gomez, Jack DeJohnette, an all-star cast. I mean, you have Bill Evans piano, Eddie Gomez bass, Jack DeJohnette drums. That's an all-star team right there, and they play like it in that live recording in Montreux. That's a gem of a live recording. Check it out. Like I said, check it out on YouTube. As some of you may not know, I don't play music on my channel, I should say, because of copyright infringement issues. I don't want my channel to be taken down or the video to be taken down. But it's available on YouTube. Check it out. That's an awesome live recording by Bill Evans, one I highly recommend. That is a fabulous audiophile live recording, in my opinion. I was listening on a Rega P8 turntable with a Apheta 3 cartridge. This sounds sensational. The next one was a thrift store find. As of the posting date of this video, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, I cleaned it thoroughly. I have a ultrasonic cleaner, a Humming Guru. And this album is on Impulse Record. It's called Great Scott. Shirley Scott Trio, orchestra conducted, arranged by Oliver Nelson. Oliver Nelson, what a sensational arranger, conductor he was, musician as well. This album really sounds great. It sounds like the way Oliver Nelson conducted the orchestra, it reminds me of the vibe and groove of the Lalo Schifrin album in terms of, you know, the dramatics and the dynamics and the very wide and vivid soundstage with Shirley Scott in the middle of the soundstage. I'll show you the front of the cover. I think my father had this in his small jazz collection when I was a young child. This was originally released in 1964 on Impulse Records. Yeah, it was recorded and issued in 1964, I believe. Inside a gatefold, a nice gatefold, a nice thrift store find for $2. An Impulse jazz record. After this review, it'll go in. These are my original pressings, Impulse jazz records, a very small section. That does not include my newer reissue Impulse jazz records. Only my original pressings are in that section. This will go in that section. But again, like I said, this includes a very lively conducted orchestration by Bill Evans with the Shirley Scott trio surrounded with them or infused with them. With Shirley Scott on organ was around the center of the soundstage, maybe a little bit to the right of the center of the soundstage. It was a great effect with a big band, very immersive, very wide, very full, with Shirley Scott in the middle of the soundstage. And a lot of the compositions on here, I shouldn't say a lot, some are from like movie themes. One called A Shot in the Dark, title song from it says some type of music production. I'm not going to bother pronouncing it, but there's another one called The Seventh Dawn from United Artists Pictures, The Seventh Dawn. So there's some movie themes, some compositions or songs that sound like movie things, but they're so dramatic and impactful in terms of the orchestration, like I said, by Oliver Nelson, and the amazing play of and solos of Shirley Scott in the center of the sound stage. A very nice listen, it really was, and a surprise to find at a thrift store. This I'm going to give a performance 8.5 because solos, a pairing of Shirley Scott and Oliver Nelson is a sensational pairing. I think I have two other Shirley Scott, Oliver Nelson albums in that section up there on my shelf. But this one is quite good. It really is. And also there is this song on here called Shadows of Paris, which includes a vocal performance by Lillian Clark and Jerry Graff. It's almost like a haunting sounding performance in terms of the vocal infusion and the sound of the vocals, but it's beautiful nonetheless and a joy to listen to. This, again, the name of the song, check it out, it's called Shadows of Paris. And Shirley Scott has a vocal performance on the song, The Blues Ain't Nothing But Pain. A very nice vocal performance by Shirley Scott on this record as well. It's not Shirley Scott in her classical, trio serious jazz performance setting. This is she is surrounded by, has a big band sound to it infused with the Shirley Scott sound. But in terms of performance and sound, I'm giving them both 8.5s. Album, please check this out on YouTube, see what you think about it. But this album, this original pressing, was a joy to listen to on my system. Shirley Scott, great Scott. Shirley Scott went on to become a highly educated woman. I believe she taught jazz history, jazz piano. She was, like I said, highly educated and highly talented. This is a recommended listen by me to my audience. Again, a sound of 8.5, a performance 8.5. Shirley Scott, great Scott. What a joy it was listening to that record. And the last one I'm going to briefly talk about, and it's by Bob James. Hold on before I get to that CD. A lot of people, when they think of Bob James, they can think of albums like this. Taxi, or some of his CTI albums. A lot of people, when they think of Bob James, they think of a subset of the jazz fusion genre, a cool jazz genre. That's what they think about Bob James. But this CD I'm going to present to my audience is the Bob James Trio. It's called Straight Up. And this, again, was also a nice listen in terms of an acoustic setting by Bob James. There's 9 songs on this CD, and it includes, let me take this, see if I can get this booklet out. But it includes, this CD includes Brian Blade drums, Christian McBride bass, Bob James piano. And the piano solos on here, on this CD, and the bass solos by Christian McBride are actually quite good. That was a very nice jazz trio CD, a great, very nice jazz effort by Bob James. Oh, by the way, this, I believe, came out on Warner Brothers Records in 1996. And again, this is a CD. And it's, I practically listened to the entire CD all the way through. It was that good of a listen, that great of an acoustic jazz setting by Bob James. It wasn't recorded that well in terms of dynamics, in terms of, being vivid in a three-dimensional sound stage. I have to discount it because of that. At best, this is probably a 7.5, 8 in terms of sound. Performance, however, that's a different story. It's more like an 8.5 in performance. A very nice performance by the Bob James Trio. It's called Straight Up. Again, there's a CD. Pleasurable listen, one you should listen to on YouTube as well. If you have any of these records, whether it is the Bill Evans at the Montreux Jazz Festival, Shirley Scott, great Scott. Like I said, I remember seeing this album as a child, because I think my father had this in his collection. So it was cool getting this album for myself. A stereo version, by the way, if I failed to mention that. Or the Bob James Trio. Have any of those, please leave your comments in the comments section below. I really appreciate it. And if you want to donate to my channel, I have a PayPal donation link in the description section of the video. That'll help buying, records going forward. I really appreciate that. The PayPal donation link in the description section of the video. And also, there are some Amazon affiliate links in the description below. For the products for sale, I get commission for the sale of those products. But even if you do not buy those products and go through those links and buy something you actually want to purchase for yourself, just as long as you go through those links and purchase something you actually need that's not part of that those affiliate program links in the description below, I'll still get a commission for that sale, as long as you go through those links to go to Amazon and then make that purchase. I'll get a commission for that purchase. But please consider the PayPal donation link in the description below. That'll help my channel going forward. Thank you very much for viewing my video. God bless, strong love, and more important than the music, keep the peace worldwide.